of holding tight or fast to the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just designed to be a reminder for us that the attitude that we should have towards our deen, towards the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and towards our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, everything that he taught and everything that he did, should be the attitude of complete commitment, adherence, of those who truly see value and significance and beauty in what we were left in the legacy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made sure that we received, that we hold on to it in a way that is deserving, the way it deserves to be held on to. And when I look around, that's not what we see. That's not what we see. We see a certain degree of adherence, but it fluctuates a lot. There's a lack of passion. There's a lack of love and commitment. There's a lot of things that are missing in the way that we are actually approaching the Quran and the Sunnah and our deen in general. And that's why I wanted to kind of share with you some of the things he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that will help us, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, maybe strengthen our intentions. He says in this hadith, and I love this, one of my favorite hadith of all time, like out of all, in the top 10. This is what he says. It has maybe 4 or 5 narrations, and the one I'm going to narrate to you, I'm just going to choose one of them. But there are different wordings for it, so if you know a different wording, it's okay. He says, مثلي إنما مثلي ومثل الناس كمثل رجل استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله جعل الفراش والدواب التي تقع في النار يقعن فيها فجعل ينزعهن ويغلبنه فيقتحمن فيها. So he says, عليه الصلاة والسلام, the first part of the hadith, exclusively the example of me, the example of myself and of people, is the example of a person who lit a fire. And once the fire was nice and kindled and was granting both light and heat, the insects, the farash, the type of moths and flying insects and other creations that seem to be drawn towards fire, were drawn towards the fire, and they were basically going into the fire and getting burnt in the fire. And he was trying to, and this person spent a bit of time, put a bit of effort in trying to hold them back from falling into this fire. But as he would try and do it, they kept on beating him. He would find ways. He would lose grasp or grip on them, and they would end up falling into the fire anyways. And then he would say, عليه الصلاة والسلام, وأنا آخذ بحجزكم عن النار وأنتم تفلتون من يدي تقتحمون فيها. He says, and I am holding you by the belt. Al-hujaz is, and they used to wear, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the old-fashioned type of pants that used to exist maybe 1,000 years ago. You ever heard of a shirwal in the past, where it's basically pants that have a very long, it's just, I don't know, it's just a kind of a weird looking pants. But the way that they have it is that they would basically, it wasn't really a belt, it was kind of a built into it. So it had a very thick lining on top. And they would call that hujaz. That's what it used to be called. So the Prophet ﷺ was saying, and I'm holding you back from the belt. And you are falling through the cracks. And I can't hold all of you. And some people are just going right into it. No matter how much I hold you back, I just can't seem to hold you back. Some people refuse to be held back. Some people, no matter how much I try, they just find a way around it, and they flank me, and they go in anyways, and they run right into the fire that was designed to grant them heat and light, not to burn them. But I can't do it. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He looks at it, this is how he sees it. I'm trying to hold you all back from something that will be very, very harmful to you. It will cause a lot of pain, but I can't. I can't seem to hold you all back. And as Muslims, if the Prophet ﷺ is trying his best to hold us back, I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate if he cares about us ﷺ more than we care about ourselves. It's a little bit weird for that to be the case. For the Prophet ﷺ to care for our own well-being, trying his best, committed to the idea of saving us and keeping us from falling into the fire, more than we are committed to doing that for our own selves. And that's something that's just, it's unfortunate that that's the case. It's unfortunate if you let yourself go If you have no discipline, if you have no commitment, if we're not adherent to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching, if we're not holding on to that book and the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his life, then we are subjecting ourselves to just being one of those flying insects that at some point will be drawn towards whatever's dazzling, whatever has a shiny color to it, whatever seems really nice. Because we have no way. I mean, what is it that causes these insects to fall? Is that they don't really have any self-control. They have no discipline. They don't know what's beneficial for them. They haven't learned it. They don't know. So they fall into something that harms them. A Muslim should know better. A Muslim should know better. A Muslim should know exactly what's harmful for him or her. We should know what's beneficial for what isn't. We should hold on to that. We shouldn't allow ourselves just to float aimlessly and then have our eye catch something that's beautiful, and without any knowledge of what's actually helpful or what's beneficial or not, we end up finding ourselves in a place of full harm. And the Prophet ﷺ is trying his best to hold us back, but we're falling through the cracks. We're making it around him. And this is what we have to do. We have to go back. See, he's the one. He's between us and that. What exists between me and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He stands there. He's always been there. He continues to stand there, alayhi salatu wasalam, between me and that which may harm me. He continues to stand there. He continues to point me in the right direction. He continues to teach me and remind me. And all I have to do is just to hold on to him, alayhi salatu wasalam. He's holding on to me. I just have to hold right back. And if we do that, then you'll make it. And you'll make it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment in a good fashion, inshallah ta'ala. يروي الشيخان فيما اتفقا عليه عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم إنما مثلي ومثل الناس كمثل رجل استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله جعل الفراش والدواب التي يقعن في النار يقعن فيها فجعل ينزعهن ويغلبنه فيقتحمن فيها وأنا آخذ بحجزكم عن النار وأنتم تفلتون من يدي فتقتحمون فيها. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك